game for today is Metroid Prime. Released in 2002 on the Gamecube and as part of the Metroid Prime trilogy on the Wii in 2009, Metroid Prime was developed by Retro Studios and Nintendo as a first-person adventure. It was the first time we saw Samus in full 3D. Let's see how that went. Beautiful 3D environments and character models full of detail and charm really make you feel isolated in an alien environment. These things were impressive back in the day and still are quite good looking nowadays. However, they can also be a bit visually confusing due to a mix of the color schemes used in some areas and the first-person view. This is more evident when looking for small entrances and when using the different visors, and believe me, you'll be doing this a lot. Audio design is mostly atmospheric and beautiful. When the music starts, you know something is about to happen. It really handles the transition from exploration to action perfectly. The story is simple but serviceable and is mostly based on lore. Most of it is told through the analysis of environment, objects and enemies, which adds to the foreboding feeling of the game and helps you immerse into the world if you just take the time to analyze everything. If you're expecting a big story or characters guiding your steps though, you'll be disappointed. A fusion between the exploration from the 2D games and a first-person shooter. Exploration seems to be the focus, but there is a lot of fighting involved. The areas are well designed and connect to each other nicely, creating shortcuts to move from area to area quickly, which helps with the inevitable backtracking that the series is known for. This backtracking feels a bit longer and slower than the one in the 2D games, but if you plan your routes, and you should, it's not that bad. It can certainly be annoying though when you advance deep into an area just to notice that you're missing something important to continue on, or when you're just trying to get the final artifacts and strong enemies appear to slow you down even more. Speaking about the combat, it is fast and works great, except when enemies get too close to you, which makes aiming a bit confusing, or when you have to change visors and weapons continuously, which I'll go into detail later. Setting the controls to advance and disabling free aiming when locking onto enemies really help the combat and exploration feel more natural in the Wii version. Must also mention that the game includes a lot of platforming, which can be a bit tricky in a first-person environment, but gets a lot better once you get the second jump. It is still quite annoying to fall at the end of some rooms and have to start the platforming sections all over again though. The control works well for the most part, but can be a bit tiring on the Wii due to how often you need to change visors and weapons, especially in later portions of the game, and pressing the plus or minus buttons and pointing to what you want to use doesn't ever get to feel natural or fast enough. The Gamecube version on the other hand does this better using the control pad and C-stick, but doesn't have the advantages of aiming with the Wiimote, so the Wii version ultimately feels better on your hands, except for the pain that pointing the Wiimote to the screen for long periods of time implies. The length of the game is somewhere close to 15 hours in your first playthrough and feels adequate for the style of game. After all, if you love it, you can always play again, trying to do it faster like in other games in the series. The multiple difficulties available make replaying even more interesting than how it was in previous games. A great game that most will love, but that includes some elements like constant backtracking, first-person platforming, constant weapon and visor switching, and some pacing problems at the end that some people won't find appealing at all. In general, if you enjoy exploring and looking for secrets with a bit of combat in between, go for it. However, if after a couple of hours you are not really enjoying it, just let it go, because it probably won't get much better for you, or might even get worse depending on what it is you dislike. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe. You can expect games from a variety of genres in the future. See you next time.